looks the same as I step down from the train. And there to meet me is my mama and papa. Down the road I look, and there runs Mary, hair of golden, lips like cherry. It's good to touch the green, green grass at home.
Hello and welcome to the 2013 Best of Lawrence Awards Show presented by the Lawrence Journal-World. Thank you for joining us. My doctor tells me I need to get more exercise. And what better way to start the day than with a jog on one of Lawrence's many scenic trails. The competition for Best of Lawrence was fierce this year, with a lot of races neck and neck. But it was you, the voter, who made the ultimate decisions. Our first awards go to businesses in the health and fitness categories. These caring professionals are there to keep us and our families healthy. They offer medical care and fitness advice and have been voted by our readers to be the very best at what they do. Now, my personal goal is to be voted the best body in Lawrence. As you can see, I got a lot of work to do, so I hope you enjoy the show, and I'm going to get back to work.
Thank you, Tom. Now go sit back, get a glass of water, and relax. Hi, everybody. This is Rich Salerno.
And Joanne Morgan. We will be your MCs for the evening, announcing the 2013 Best of Lawrence winners. So sit back and relax.
We have a lot of entries tonight, so let's get started with that first envelope.
For the best chiropractor in town.
In the number 3 spot, we have Risley Chiropractic.
Number 2 is Peak Performance and Health Center.
And the best bone cracker in town is Advanced Chiropractic Services in the number 1 position. For the best dentist in town, you can go to...
Coming in at number 3, Wilkerson, Saunders, and Anderson.
Number 2 is Peterson, Christian, Van Horn.
And the number 1 place is Downtown Lawrence Dental Center. And for the best local medical clinic.
In number 3 spot, we have Lawrence Family Practice.
Number 2 is Prompt Care.
And number 1 comes in at First Med Family and Walk-In Care. For the best eye doctor in town, you can go to...
Oh, I hope I can see them. Crandon and Crandon comes in at number 3.
And number 2 is Dr. Dobbins in Laterno.
And number 1 is Lawrence Family Vision Center.
Dr. Green's a nice doctor to visit.
Nice.
Best family doctor in town is...
Carla and Brad Phipps coming in at number 3.
And number 2 is Laurie Cordova.
And number 1 is Rod Barnes. And for the best pediatrician in town for your kiddos.
In the number 3 spot, it's Lawrence Family Medicine and Obstetrics.
Number 2 is Lawrence Pediatrics.
And the number 1 position, we have Pediatric and Adolescent Medicine, Panda. For the best gym and fitness center in town.
Coming in at number 3, we have Genesis Health Club.
Number 2 is KU Recreation Center.
And the number 1 place to go work your bod is Body Boutique.
Of course.
Best physical therapist in town, should we ever need them.
And 3rd place, we have New Physical Therapy.
Number 2 is Therapy Works.
And the best therapy place in town is Bird Physical Therapy. For the best massage in town, get your hands ready.
Oh, I need that. We have Cassie Edwards coming at number 3.
Number 2, rubber, is Katie Winslow.
And number 1 is Jamie Ospa. And for the best orthodontist in town.
In the 3 spot, Shelley McComb.
Number 2, we have Brent C. Woods.
And the best orthodontist in town is Ranjbar Orthodontics.
Oh, he's got a lot of money for my kids there. Best orthopedist.
Dr. Gaston is number 3.
Number 2 is OrthoWorks.
Dr. Wurzberger. And the number 1 spot is Ortho Kansas. For the best pharmacy in town.
Coming at number 3, we have Sigler Pharmacy.
Number 2, we have Dillon's.
And the number 1 place to go get your drugs is Walgreens.
And there's 2 locations in town. For the number 1 best spa in town.
The number 3 spot is Lada Salon and Spa.
Number 2, we have Images Salon and Day Spa.
And the best place to go is Salon Di Marco. And the best vision center in town.
I hope I can see this one. Dr. Kevin Lanahan is the number 3 spot.
Number 2 is Wink Eyewear.
And the best Lawrence Vision Center is Lawrence Family Vision again, Dr. Green.
Lawrence is an outstanding place to live, work, and raise a family. And on a beautiful day like today, it's great to get outside and soak in the nice weather. Now, golfing is more up to my speed, and I'm still getting a great workout by walking instead of driving around in a cart. Lawrence has tons of great recreational activities to help you get moving and enjoy the great outdoors. From bike trails to sports, there's always plenty to do, and the Best of Lawrence recognizes what you, the voter, determined to be the best activities in Lawrence. Now, if I may demonstrate the proper swing, the perfect swing you might even say.
And another envelope, please. And the winners are in this category, Best Golf Course.
Coming in at number 3, we have the Lawrence Country Club.
And the number 2 spot is the Eagle Bend Golf Course.
And the best place to swing your clubs is Albemarle Golf
4.
Course. And the best bike ride in town.
And number 3 spot, we have River Trails.
Number 2 is the Levee.
Levee, of course, and Clinton Lake is the best place to ride your bike. For the best road trip.
Coming at number 3 is the Flint Hills.
And the number 2 place to go is Kansas City.
And the very best place is Colorado.
That's a long road trip right there.
Time to go skiing.
Yeah.
Best bike shop in town.
Best place in 3rd place is Rick's Bike Shop.
Number 2 is Cycle Works.
And the best place to take your wheels at Sunflower Outdoor and Bike. For the best run in town.
Once again, we go to the Levee.
Yeah, number 2 is the KU campus.
And the number 1 place to go is Clinton Lake.
How do you run over the lake? For the best sporting goods in town.
Gary Gribble's Running Sports.
Say that 3 times fast. Francis Sporting Goods in the number 2 spot.
Number 1 is Sunflower Outdoor and Bike Shop. The best family fun.
Laugh out loud.
Kids not arguing. Number 2 is Downtown Massachusetts Street.
Or Clinton Lake again for some family fun. For the best gardening store.
Coming at number 3, we have Clinton Parkway Nursery.
And number 2 is Howard Pines Garden Center.
And the number 1 place is Sunrise Garden
Isn't
Center.
that for sale now? So,
Best landscaping service.
number 3 is Parker Landscape.
Coming at number 2 is Willow Ridge Landscape.
And the best landscaping service in town is Lawrence Landscape, of course.
Of course.
In Lawrence. Best weekend getaway.
Coming at number 3, we have Omaha.
That's a nice place downtown. Number 2 is St. Louis.
And number 3 is Kansas
Yeah.
City. Here I come.
My favorite thing about Lawrence, the culture of Lawrence is just so warm and inviting. I feel like you can go anywhere and people are so open, whether you're whatever religion you're of, whatever country you're from, people are just so open and welcome at every single place you go to in Lawrence.
Shopping is nice. I like the small little boutiques and that type of store.
And the food everywhere is nice.
What is your favorite thing about Lawrence?
Humidity.
It's really?
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know if that would be my favorite thing.
What is your favorite thing?
Seems like there's a lot of healthy people here. Appreciate that.
After a morning of exercise, it's time to recharge the batteries. And one of the cool things about living in Lawrence is the wide variety of food and drink. We have so many great restaurants in town and so many attractive options. From steak and barbecue to Asian and Italian food, burger pubs to elegant dining, Lawrence has something for everyone.
You want it the All-American as well, sir?
Yeah. Thank you. Now, where'd I put my fork? Here we go.
And now on to the food and dining category. Best in Lawrence, best bakery is...
In the number 3 position, we have Great Harvest Bread Company.
Coming in number 2, we have Muncher's Bakery.
And the number 1 spot, we have Wheat Fields. Some good bread there. Best barbecue in town.
Coming at number 3, we have Granddaddy's Barbecue.
We have Beamer's Barbecue coming in second.
And the number 1 best barbecue is Big's Barbecue. And the best breakfast place in town.
Number 3 is Wheat Fields again.
Number 2 is The Mirth.
And in the number 1 position, of course, we have First Watch. For the best caterer in town,
Coming in at number 3, we have Culinaria.
number 2 is Evan Williams Catering.
And the best caterer in town is Maselli's. And the very best coffee in town.
Number 3 is Z's Espresso.
And number 2 is Starbucks.
For the best cup of java in town, go to La Prima Taza.
Love that place.
Very good. Best delivery in town,
Number 3 is Pizza Hut.
number 2 is Pizza Shuttle.
And the number 1 best delivery is Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's.
Love Jimmy John's. Best dessert in town.
In the number 3 position, we have Pachamama's.
And number 2 is 715 Restaurant.
And the number 1 position again is Wheatfields. Good job, Wheatfields. For the best ethnic market,
Coming at number 3, we have Community Mercantile.
Amache in a 2 spot.
And number 1 is Mediterranean Market. For the best fast food in town,
Is Sonic in the number 3 position.
Runs as number 2.
And the number 1 place in town for best food is Chipotle. For the best fine dining in town,
Teller's coming in at number 3.
715 for the number 2 spot.
And the very best place, gentlemen, take your ladies, is Pachamama's. Best fresh produce in town.
Farmer's Market on a Saturday morning is great.
Number 2, Community Mercantile.
And in the number 1 position, we have Checkers. For the best grocery store in town,
Coming at number 3, we have Hy-Vee.
number 2 is Checkers.
And the best grocery store in town, Lawrence, is Dillon's. And for the very best hamburger in town,
Johnny's Tavern in the number 3 position.
number 2 is Dempsey's Burger Pub.
But the best burger is at the burger stand at the Casbah.
Love the Casbah.
For the best ice cream or frozen yogurt in town,
Cold Stone Creamery comes in at number 3.
number 2 is the Orange Leaf.
And number 1 is Silas and Maddie's. And the very best Indian food,
Chutney's in the 3rd place.
number 2 is Curry in a Hurry.
But for the best Indian food in town, you got to go to India Palace.
And the next envelope, please, for the very best Italian food in town.
3rd spot, we have Basil Leaf.
Coming at number 2, we have Paisanos.
Best Italian food is at Genovese. For the best margarita in town,
Coming at number 3, we have Solito Lindo.
or La Paria is number 2 position.
Very best margarita in town is El Mascal. And for the very best meal in a hurry,
Curry in a Hurry in the 3rd position.
number 2 is Jimmy John's.
And Chipotle for the best meal in a hurry. For the best Mexican food,
Coming in number 3, we have a Thai, El Portro and La Parrilla.
La Familia is in the 2nd position.
And El Mascal, once again, is the number 1 spot.
Numero uno.
The best Middle Eastern food.
Lebanese Flour in the 3rd position.
Coming at number 2 is Mediterranean Market.
In the number 1 spot, we have Aladdin Cafe. For the best outdoor dining in Lawrence,
715 Restaurant comes in at number 3.
La Tropicana is the number 2 spot.
And the number 1 outdoor dining is Solito Lindo. And the best pizza in town.
Minsky's Pizza in the 3rd position.
Number 2 is Papakino's Pizzeria.
But the best pizza is Rudy's Pizzeria.
Love that on a Friday
Downtown.
night. And the very next envelope, please. For the best restaurant in town.
3rd place, we have Pachamama's.
Coming in at number 2, we have 715 Restaurant.
But in 1st place, we have Free State Brewery. Got to get a good meal there all the time. Best restaurants for kids.
Coming in at number 3, we have Jason's Deli.
Number 2 spot, McDonald's.
And the number 1 spot is CC's Pizza.
Eat all the pizza you can.
Best sandwich in town.
In the number 3 positions, we have Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's.
Number 2 is Wheatfields.
And number 1 spot, we have the Yellow Sub. For the best vegetarian and vegan food,
Coming at number 3, we have Community Mercantile.
ingredients, number 2 spot.
And number 1 is Zen
I
Zero.
like watching them cook it.
Best steak in town.
Pachamama's in the 3rd spot again.
Coming at number 2 is 715 Restaurant.
And the best steak can be bought at Longhorn Steakhouse. For the best sushi in town,
Kokoro coming in at number 3.
Wah in number 2.
And Yokohama is first place winner. And for the best taco in town,
Fuzzy's Taco Shop in the number 3 position.
number 2, El Mascal.
But the best tacos sold at La Familia. For the best Thai food in town,
Thai House comes in at number 3.
Thai Siam in number 2 spot.
And Zen Zero is the best Thai food in town. Best wine list.
Pachamama is in the 3rd position.
715 Restaurant comes in at number 2.
The best wine list is at Teller's. For the best wings in town,
Coming in number 3, we have Henry T's.
Buffalo Wild Wings in the 2 spot.
Number 1, Jefferson's. You can go in and put your dollar bill on the wall.
Favorite thing about Lawrence? People.
I like Mass Street. I like walking around with the kids, getting some ice cream, hitting the shops. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about Lawrence?
Probably the art scene.
Well, my favorite thing about Lawrence is it's kind of like a bigger town, but it still has that small town feel, and everyone's really nice, and I just have such a great time, and then KU's my favorite.
Everything.
Now that I've had a great meal, I'm ready to get some shopping done. Lawrence has so many unique places to shop, it's hard to keep track of them all. I can always find something different. Go anywhere in town and you're bound to find shops that carry just what you're looking for. And thanks to you, the voter, we can let everyone know which stores and shops are recognized as the best of Lawrence.
All right, people, here comes my favorite thing to do. Envelope, please. The best antique store in town.
In the number 3 spot, we have My Father's Daughter.
Number 2 is Amy's Attic.
But in the number 1 spot, Lawrence Antique Mall. You can get lost in that place. For the best bookstore in town,
Coming at number 3, we have Lawrence Public Library.
where is that nowadays?
Looking forward to the new building. Number 2 is the Raven.
And in number 1, we have Dusty Bookshelf. The best electronics store in town.
Coming at number 3, we have Game Nut.
And number 2 position is Keef's Audio Video.
And the number 1 place to get your electronics is Best Buy. The best bridal in town.
And number 3 spot, we have Joe Flannery Weavers.
Number 2 is Mark's Jewelers.
And number 1 is The Beautiful Wedding. For the best children's clothes.
Coming at number 3, we have The Gap.
And number 2, we have Doodle Bugs.
And the number 1 place to get your kids' clothes, Blue Dandelion. And the best convenience store in town.
Zarco, of course, number 3 position.
Number 2 is Quick Shop.
And the best place in town is Quick Trip. For the best flower shop in town, you can go to.
Hy-Vee, number 3.
Number 2 is Englewood Florist.
But the best place, gentlemen, is Owen's Flower Shop. And the best furniture store in town.
In the 3rd position, we have a tie for Habitat for Humanity's Restore or World Market.
Number 2 is Winfield House.
And the number 1 place in town is Discovery Furniture. For the best gift shop,
Number 3 is Hobbs.
number 2 is the Phoenix Gallery.
And the very best is Lawrence Memorial Hospital Gift Shop.
Make sure you pick something up before you go see somebody.
Yep.
For the best jeweler in town,
Kaiser Cummings Jewelers.
number 2, Goldmakers Jewelry.
And the number 3 is Mark's Jewelers. And the very best KU souvenir shop in town.
Jock's Niche is the number 3 position.
Number 2 is KU Bookstore.
But the best place to rock chalk your stuff is Kansas Sampler. Best men's clothing store in town.
Coming at number 3, we have Hobbs.
Number 2 is Kohl's.
And the number 1 place is Weavers.
Way to go,
Congratulations.
Joe.
We love you, Joe.
Best pet store in town.
Coming at number 3 is Petco.
And number 2 is Posh Wash.
And the number 1 place is Pet World. And the very best secondhand store in town.
Plato's Closet is in the 3rd position.
Number 2 is Goodwill.
But the best number 1 secondhand store is Salvation Army. For the best shoe store in town,
Coming in 3rd is Shark Surf Shop.
say that 3 times fast. Famous Footwear is number 2.
And number 1 is Brown Shoe Fit Company. And the best toy store in town.
In the number 3 position, we have Walmart.
Number 2 is Target.
Best toys can be found
Of course, the toy store.
The toy store, of course. The best unique store.
Coming at number 3 is Third Planet.
Number 2 is Hobbs.
And the very best unique store in town is Made. Best vintage clothing in town.
3rd position, we have Lawrence Antique Mall.
Number 2 is Arizona Trading Company.
And the best vintage clothing is at the Wild Man Vintage. For the best women's clothing store,
Coming at number 3, we have Spectators.
and number 2 would be Kohl's.
And the number one best women's
And you
place?
should know.
Weavers. Gentlemen, remember that one as well.
It's a small enough town to be a community, and it has Art to Go. You know, the Art to Go parade.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Lawrence is Mass Street, honestly. I love coming down here and walking around, and especially if it's nice outside, and getting coffee and experiencing the boutiques and the shops and restaurants. I like how it's all kind of eclectic.
It's pretty clean. It's easy to get around.
The thing I love about Lawrence is the diversity and friendliness.
I like the people from Lawrence. They're all really friendly, and it's just a cool place to live.
To tell us what your favorite thing about Lawrence is?
The women.
You know, it's really cool being a B-list quasi-local celebrity. People recognize you at the store and always say hello. So I take my personal appearance very seriously and go to great lengths to maintain my dashing good looks. But I couldn't do it without professionals. And the same is true whether you're remodeling your home, need a plumber, or getting your car repaired. It's always best to leave the job to a qualified professional. And that's exactly what you'll find in this next group of businesses voted Best of Lawrence.
The envelope, please, for Best Auto Repair.
Coming in at number 3, we have Slimmer's Automotive.
In the number 2 spot, we have Lawrence Automotive Diagnostics.
And the number 1 is Westside 66 and Car Wash, the best barber in town.
For a good haircut, Rex's Stadium Barbershop.
Number 2, Downtown Barbershop.
And in the number 1 spot, Amix Barbershop. For the best child care center.
Raintree Montessori coming in at number 3.
And number 2 is Stepping Stones Child Care.
And the best place to take your kids, Hilltop Child Development Center. The best dry cleaner in town.
Is Hygienic Dry Cleaners in number 3 spot.
Number 2, Econologic Dry Cleaners.
And the best is Scotch Fabric Care. For the best electrician.
Coming at number 3, we have Mel Lisher Electric.
Danielson Electric.
And number 1, Lynn Electric. Wow, they all have the same last name.
That's amazing.
The best hair salon
is Static Hair Salon.
The Green Room Salon.
And Salon DeMarco. Best hardware store.
Coming at number 3, we have Home Depot.
And number 2 spot, Cotton's Hardware.
And number 1, Westlake Ace Hardware. And the best home handyman
is my husband.
Your husband? What?
Wait a second, it's your husband.
Number 2 is Greg Springer.
And the number 1 is Pat Shea for the best handyman. And best insurance agency.
Coming in at number 3 is CEK Insurance.
Farm Bureau Financial Services in number 2.
And number 1, State Farm Insurance. The best interior designer.
And number 3 spot is Scott Wisdom.
Number 2, Rynette Riling Designs.
And the best place for interior design is Jane Bateman Interiors. For the best lawyer in town?
Hope we never need those. Law Office of John Friedman.
Or his brother, Rick Friedman, attorney, in number 2.
Number 1, the law offices of David Brown. The best painting services in town.
And number 3 spot is Dennis J. Brown Painting.
Number 2, KB Painting.
And the best people with a brush is Color My World.
Oh, I'd like them to color my world. Best photographer
is Melissa Sigler Photography, and number 3.
Number 2 is Ann Dean.
And at number 1, best photographer in town is Crystal Image. And the best plumber in town.
Coming in at number 3 is Castle Plumbing.
Number 2 is Johnson Plumbing.
And number 1, Action Plumbing. Those guys like to get stuff done. They like the action.
They have the same last name also. For the best property management company.
Midwest Property Management, number 3.
Number 2 is Tuckaway Management.
And the First Management is First.
Of course, who else?
Best realtor in town.
In the number 3 spot, we have Thomas Howell McGrew Real Estate.
Number 2 is Holly Garber, American Dream Realty.
And then that number 1 best realtor spot is Tom Harper.
With Stevens.
For the best veterinarian in town,
Ooh, we have a tie. Bradley Animal Hospital and Gentle Care Animal Hospital. It come in at number 3.
and number 2 is Tom Liebel from the Clinton Parkway Animal Hospital.
And number 1 best veterinary is Lewis Veterinary Clinic.
Bark, bark.
Probably downtown, the restaurants and interesting shops.
What about you?
I'd have to concur. The atmosphere is awesome. I love Lawrence.
I've never been here before. This is my first time here.
That's awesome. Well, how do you like it so far?
I love it. It's beautiful.
You know what? People are really nice. No, I'll say that. It seems like a very kind, gentle place.
The Jayhawks.
After a busy day, it's nice to unwind and hit the town. Lawrence has so many cool places to go after hours. You can catch a movie, see a live show, or check out the local music scene. Or it's great to just relax and hang out with friends at your favorite watering hole. You never know what might happen. Me, I like to let the night take me where it takes me.
And the envelope comes in for the best nightlife in town, best bar.
I'm thirsty. Red Lion Tavern comes in at number 3.
The second one is the Sandbar,
Great floats every year. And number 1, Free State Brewery.
best brew in town.
Best bar scene.
In the number 3 spot, we have Henry's.
And coming at number 2, we have Replay Lounge.
And the Sandbar again at the number 1 spot for the best bar scene in town. For the best bartender.
Coming at number 3, we have Frank.
And number 2 is Chris.
We love you, Chris and Frank, but we really love David because he is the number 1
Sandbar,
bartender.
of course. For the best server in town.
Coming at number 3, we have Alan at the Oriental Bistro.
And Leslie at the Free State Brewery.
And Will at Morisco's. And the best beer selection.
Burger Stand at the Kai's Bar is in the number 3 position.
Beer and a Burger. On the Rocks coming in at number 2.
And who else but Free State Brewery is in the number 1 position for the best DJ.
Coming at number 3, we have DJ Proof.
Or DJ Candlepants in the number 2 spot.
And number 1 is Scott Simpson.
Yeah, he's done a good job at some places. For the best cocktail in town,
Coming at number 3, we have Pachamamas.
Bourgeois Pig is the number 2.
And the Eldridge comes in number 1. Love their martinis. Keep them coming. Best first date.
Best place to go for first date, number 3 position is Liberty Hall.
Number 2 is Tellers.
Or the 715 place for the first date. For the best happy hour in town,
Coming at number 3 is the Jayhawker at the Eldridge.
Sonic is in the number 2 position.
And the best happy hour is 7:15 again.
For the best liquor store in town,
Jensen's Liquor comes in at number 3.
Jeff's working on the Facebook, Cork and Barrel number 2.
And the best place is On the Rocks, and I do like my liquor on the rocks.
All right,
best
best-
live music venue.
Jazz House is in number 3 position.
Coming in number 2 is the Granada.
And Liberty Hall, who else is in the number 1 position for the best live music? For the best local band,
Coming in number 3, we have Truck Stop Honeymoon.
I love them. Quiet Corral is number 2.
But the very best is Cowboy Indian Bear.
For the best new band in town,
Coming at number 3, we have a 3-way tie. Brain Food, Pale Hearts, and 88er.
in the number 2 position we have a tie, Rod Key and Sovereign States.
But the number 1 best band is
Paper Buffalo. Best romantic date is
Pachamamas comes in at number 3.
Ortella's is number 2.
And number 1 is 715. And the best sports bar in town?
Set 'em Up Jacks
Love
is the
them.
number 3 position.
Love their big TVs. Henry T's, number 2.
Good wings, and then Johnny's Tavern is number 1 position.
Of course,
There's
it is
2
the
locations
best.
too.
My favorite thing about Lawrence is probably, everybody's just really nice all the time. It's wonderful. Like, you can just, like, be walking down the street, like, I like your shirt, and they're just like, yo, I like your shirt, and I'm like, cool.
The music, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. A lot of cool bands come through.
The people. I just think people in Lawrence are really like wonderful and liberal and funky and okay with whatever.
As you can see and hear from the soothing sounds of the bells of the Campanile, Lawrence is filled with landmarks. But really what Lawrence is all about is the spirit of community. Whether you live on the west side or the east side, Old West Lawrence or North Lawrence, from Broken Arrow Park to Clinton Lake, Lawrence is filled with history, beautiful scenery, and community-minded neighbors. With great schools and such interesting people, Lawrence really is an awesome place to live. We'll now take a moment to honor what you, the voters, picked to be the best of Lawrence.
And envelope, please, for our next category, Best Art Gallery.
In the number 3 spot is the Lawrence Art Center.
Number 2, Spencer Museum of Art.
And the best art gallery in town is the Phoenix Gallery.
Oh, love that place.
It is excellent. Best artist in town.
Number 3 is Molly Murphy.
And the number 2 spot is John Sebelius.
And number 1 is Stan Hurd.
I love what he does out in the fields, boy.
Best Assisted Living Retirement Community.
And the number 3 spot is Meadowlark Estates.
Number 2 is Pioneer Ridge.
And the best place in town is Brandon Woods at Albemarle. And the best athlete in town,
Travis Relaford, is number 3rd.
Ben McLemore, you should have given us another year.
And Jeff Withy coming in at number 1. And the best bank in town.
Take your money to Commerce Bank for the number 3 spot.
And KU Credit Union coming in at number 2.
And the best place in town to keep your money is Capital Federal. The best place to buy a car.
Jack Elena Honda coming in at number 3.
Number 2 is Laird Nola Hyundai.
And number 1, Crown Automotive. And the best celebrity in town
is Stan Hurd in the number 3 spot.
Coming in at number 2 is Dennis. And Dennis, we love your doll.
Oh, very nice. And Bill Self, way to go, Bill. And the number 1 coach in town,
Bob Lister coming in at number 3.
Number 2 is Bonnie Hendrickson.
And number 1 again, Bill Self. That guy's everywhere. Best controversy,
Governor Sam Brownback in the number 3 spot.
Number 2 is the South Lawrence Traffic Way and the wetlands.
And the best controversy in town is the new rec center. The best event in town,
Art in the Park.
Number 2 is St. Patrick's Day Parade. I love the parades.
Me too. And number 1 is Busker Fest. The best hotel in town, if you get a little bit sleepy, is Spring Hill Suites.
Or you can stay at the Oriette up on the hill.
But the number 1 place to stay is the Eldridge. The best local activist in town,
Jerry Farmer.
And number 2 is Leslie Sodden.
And Honk for Hemp is the best local activist. For the best local charity event in town,
Festival of Trees comes at number 3.
Number 2 is Relay for Life.
And the number 1, St. Patrick's Day Parade.
That parade again.
We love that parade. Best local landmark.
And the number 3 spot, we have KU Campus.
Number 2 is the Campanile.
And Allen Fieldhouse. Pay heed to the fog. And the best local nonprofit.
Coming in at number 3 is Van Gogh Inc.
And Lawrence Art Center in the number 2 spot.
And number 1, Lawrence Humane Society. We love our animals. Best local store owner
is Joe Flannery at Weaver's. He's been there a long time, Joe.
Number 2, Dan Hughes, Sunflower Outdoor Bike.
And Linda and Tom Cotton at Cotton's Hardware. For the best neighborhood in town.
Coming in at number 3 is North Lawrence.
And East Lawrence.
And number 1 is Old West Lawrence.
Sorry, Old South Lawrence. We don't have 3 spots.
Best new business is
El Potro Mexican Cafe in the 3 spot.
I love the horse. Number 2 is 10,000 Villages.
And Maid is the number 1 place in town. Best park in town.
Centennial Park coming in at number 3.
Number 2 is Clinton Park.
And the number 1 park is South Park.
Yeah, South made it up in the park category. Best place for an event.
The Oriade comes in at number 3.
And Miscelli's is number 2.
And number 1 is Liberty Hall. Been to a few parties there.
Like watching a movie and having a drink. Best place to meet up.
La Prima Taza coming in at number 3.
And Free State Brewery for the number 2 spot.
And number 1, Downtown Mass. Just anywhere downtown Mass.
Anywhere.
Best place to take an out-of-towner.
La Prima Taza in there again.
Free State Brewery again.
And downtown Mass Street again. Did we just do something?
I'm seeing a pattern
Sound
here.
like Groundhog Day. Best place to watch a game.
Set 'em Up Jack's coming in at number 3. They've got big TVs.
Johnny's Tavern is in the number 2 spot.
And of course, the number 1 spot, Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
Best politician.
Marcy Francisco in the number 3 spot.
Number 2 is Mike Amix.
And the best politician in town is Paul Davis. Is he in town?
I don't know. Best professor.
Number 3 spot is Jeff Lang.
And the second best professor is Jonathan Earl.
And Mary Clater is the number 1 professor in our city. Best radio station.
Coming in at number 3 is KNU 91.5.
KLZR KKSW 105.9 is the number 2 spot.
And number 1 is KJHK.
And the best teacher in town.
Coming in number 3 is David Platt.
In the number 2 spot, we have Hillary Morton.
And the very best teacher in town is a tie. We have Michelle Loomis and Jessica Sadler.
For the top teachers in town. Way to go, teachers.
I've been living in Lawrence all my life since I was born. I just never have any desire to go anywhere else because I guess Lawrence just has everything I need.
Downtown.
That's
no better place.
The people, the community. No other place in the whole country I would rather live.
The best thing about the Lawrence community is probably the live music scene. We've got one of the best kept secrets in the nation with live music. We just don't like to tell anybody about it. We keep it all here selfishly to ourselves.
Sure, my favorite thing about Lawrence is to come back and go to Free State. I live in State College, Pennsylvania now, and I get to come back maybe 2 or 3 times a decade, really. So this is the first time I've been in town in 4 years, and I'm looking forward to meeting up with some old friends, and just good to be home.
Well, that just about wraps things up. I hope you had a good time as we explored the best of Lawrence. Congratulations to this year's best, and a special thank you to our readers for selecting the winners. Thanks again, and I'll see you around town.
Thanks everybody for coming out. So a lot of great places to eat and shop and spend your money in Lawrence. So get out there and try them all. What do you think, Joanne?
Oh, Rich, I think it's been a great evening. We want to congratulate all the 2013 Best of Lawrence winners once again. We hope you folks have enjoyed your evening and have a great rest of your night.
It's probably that time of the night when we got to say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
No, your name is Joanne.
Oh, I'm Joanne. Well, you're now free to move about the cabin.
At least your name's not Jimmy Johns.
Jimmy Johns. Jimmy Johns.
Yeah, we like saying that. So get out there and spend your money in Lawrence.
All right, everybody, we are out of here.
And congrats to the winners again.
Bye-bye.